Hey everyone, as your literacy coach, I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this explainer on teaching third grade opinion writing using a highly structured tiered approach. Now, if you're a brand new third grade teacher, looking at a blank piece of paper with your students can feel, honestly, incredibly daunting. You're probably wondering how to get your struggling writers to just put pencil to paper, while at the exact same time trying to challenge your advanced kids. Well, we are going to solve that today. We'll be looking at practical, modeled examples and clear explanations that are going to completely transform how you teach writing.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The core formula blueprint, 2. Tier 1 intervention, 3. Tier 2 on-level expectations, 4. Tier 3 enrichment, and finally, 5. Assessing with the rubric. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The core formula blueprint structuring the essay. To teach opinion writing effectively, we absolutely need a common foundation. So we're grounding our entire lesson in a single, high-interest case study, should schools have longer lunch periods. This is such a brilliant topic because, let's face it, every single third grader has a very strong opinion about recess and lunch. By giving them a topic they actually care about, we instantly lower that barrier to entry. But as we know, having an opinion is just the start. In third grade, the standard is learning how to state that opinion clearly and actually back it up with evidence. This foundational formula is the absolute blueprint every single student will use. We teach them that an essay has 3 main parts. First up, the introduction, where they hook the reader, give some background, and state their thesis. Second, the body paragraphs. These are built systematically with a topic sentence, cited evidence from a text, their own elaboration, and a closing sentence. And lastly, the conclusion. This structure, it's completely non-negotiable across the classroom. But as you'll see in a minute, we're going to adjust the complexity of these steps based on where your students are at.
To make this happen, students are going to read sources from 3 people. Lucy Tran, who argues kids need more time to eat, Marcus Bell, who says learning time is just too precious to lose, and Aisha Khan, a researcher who neutrally shares both sides of the debate. Now, what's a total game changer for you as a teacher is that these texts are provided in both grade 1 to 2 reading levels and grade 3 reading levels. You just give each student the version that matches their reading ability. This is a crucial differentiation strategy. We are literally removing the reading roadblock so that every kid can focus 100% of their cognitive energy on the actual writing process. All right, moving to section 2. Tier 1 intervention, supporting below grade level writers. We've got to figure out how to help those students who usually write one sentence, drop their pencil, and say, "I'm done," or those kids who just sit there, totally frozen, struggling to organize their thoughts. This is where we swoop in to support our struggling writers by using full sentence frames and those simplified texts we just talked about. For our intervention students, we give them this exact full sentence thesis frame, "I think blank, because blank and blank." It explicitly teaches them how to state their opinion clearly without being vague. Plus, it forces them to map out 2 specific reasons right there in their introduction. It gives them a really quick win and completely prevents that overwhelming feeling of not knowing how to start. After that, we explicitly teach them to build their 2 body paragraphs using a super predictable 4-sentence formula. You can actually use these exact frames as an anchor chart in your classroom, so when a student is stuck and doesn't know what to write next, you just point right to the chart. They write their topic sentence, one reason is that blank, then they pull a fact from the text using the frame in blank, it says that blank, then they elaborate, this shows that blank, and finally they wrap it up with a closing sentence. Check this out. This brilliantly illustrates what a successful intervention-level evidence citation looks like in practice, pulled straight from our mentor essay. Look how clean and achievable this is. The student has successfully stated the title of the text and pulled a relevant fact using the below grade level source text. As a new teacher, you can model this directly using think alouds, showing them exactly how you hunt down this sentence in the text and copy it right into the frame. Let's move on to section 3. Tier 2 on level, meeting grade 3 expectations. These are your kids who are performing exactly where they should be, but we need to build up their writing stamina and transition them into more independent writing.
Notice how we shift from full sentence frames to partial frames here. Before, our intervention frame had almost all the words provided for them, but now our on-level frame looks more like this. Blank should blank because blank and blank. We're essentially taking the training wheels off while keeping the bike structure perfectly intact. We're teaching them to rely on their own vocabulary while still sticking to that mandatory formula.
For our on-level writers, we're significantly bumping up the stamina expectations. Instead of a basic 4-sentence body paragraph, we're now asking for 5 to 6 sentences per paragraph. The biggest shift here is that we're requiring two separate pieces of cited evidence, along with two separate elaborations within a single body paragraph. We're also upgrading their transition words from simple stems to more academic partial frames, really showing them how transitions can totally level up their organization and clarity.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that grade-level students are now expected to cite both the text title and the author's name. This really upgrades their academic language. It's a fantastic step up from the intervention level. By just using a phrase like according to, students naturally elevate the tone of their writing, making it sound way more authoritative and perfectly aligned with third-grade standards.
Moving right along to Section 4, Tier 3 Enrichment, Challenging Above Grade-Level Writers. Okay, so how do we handle those kids who grasp the concepts in 5 minutes and finish early? We definitely don't just hand them busy work. We need to deepen the cognitive demand.
We push these writers to truly synthesize information. First off, they have to write 3 body paragraphs instead of 2. We take away the fill-in-the-blank frames completely and instead provide them with optional model phrases. We challenge them to use much more advanced transitions. But honestly, the most exciting enrichment opportunity here is teaching them the concepts of concession and rebuttal. That means teaching them to acknowledge the opposing side of the debate and then actively argue against it.
Providing advanced model frames like this one challenges them to use complex sentence structures right out of the gate. Instead of a simple "I think this," they're practicing dependent clauses. Although some people believe blank, I am convinced that blank. This naturally forces the student to demonstrate audience awareness and use higher-level persuasive techniques right from the very first paragraph. It's amazing to see.
Inside their essays, we teach them to explicitly interact with the conflicting source texts. For instance, we teach them to first concede a point, like Marcus Bell's argument that if lunch gets longer, valuable reading and math learning time is lost. Then they immediately rebut it using research from Aisha Khan, pointing out that schools with faster lunch lines give students more time to eat without changing the schedule at all. Honestly, this level of synthesis is incredible for third graders, and it thoroughly prepares them for upper elementary writing.
Finally, Section 5, Assessing with the Rubric, using a 4-point evaluation scale. As a teacher, you're going to have 25 different essays sitting on your desk spanning 3 completely different tiers. So how do we grade all of this objectively? The beauty of this entire system is that the fundamental requirements remain exactly the same.
We assess all 3 tiers using the exact same 6 categories on a 4-point scale. Whether a student is using a highly scaffolded intervention template or a 3-paragraph enrichment organizer, we are looking for the exact same core elements. Did they hook the reader? Did they cite facts from the sources? Did they elaborate? Did they use linking words? This ensures we stay laser-focused on the core elements of opinion writing, regardless of the student's scaffolded level.
For example, when you're looking at elaboration, the difference between a meets level 3 and an exceeds level 4 simply comes down to the consistency and clarity of the student translating facts into their own words and explicitly connecting it back to their thesis. A level 2 might just repeat the fact without explaining it at all. And you know what? That is a great indicator for you that you need to pull that specific student into a small group conference so they can practice elaborating out loud before they ever pick up a pencil.
As you prep for your next writing workshop block, I really want you to ask yourself how this structured, step-by-step approach can transform your students from hesitant writers into confident, persuasive authors. By providing differentiated reading sources, tailored sentence frames, and a consistent evaluation rubric, you completely take the guesswork out of opinion writing for both you and your kids. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought. What if the biggest barrier to your students' writing wasn't a lack of ideas, but simply the lack of the right framework to express them?